Hey, soldiers and warriors, this is your sister Fire, and welcome to another episode of my spiritual warfare series called Winning the Battle of Spiritual Warfare. So, today we will be talking about our warfare weapons, y'all. Okay, warfare weapons, meaning, what do we use in this spiritual warfare that we're in, which is really a spiritual battle that we have to go through every day. Okay. We battle every day in the spirit, whether you know it or not. Okay. Or shall I say, we have spirits coming up against us every day, battling with us every day. And so the reason that I'm doing this spiritual warfare series, once again, is to help enlighten some of my brothers and sisters about, spiritual warfare, okay? And some of the spirits that come up against us, and how to win the battle of the spiritual warfare. Okay, so I came up with a kind of like an acronym to help us remember the weapons that we use when we are in spiritual warfare, when we are in battle. Okay, and that acronym is RBLCFP. RBLCFP. And that stands for rebuke, bind, loose, command, fast, and pray. I'm going to say it again. Rebuke, bind, loose, command, fast, and pray. Okay? So if you can remember those 6 letters, if you ever forget, when you in the battle, you just remember them 6 letters, and it will remind you of what you need to do, when you're battling. And I know it sounds like, when I say it, just talking about it, it sounds like, how can I forget? How can I forget? But we can forget. Trust me, we can forget, because when that enemy come in like a flood, he go to attacking you from every which way. And sometimes you may forget, you know what I'm saying? So that's why, I decided to try to make a little acronym out of it for y'all and for myself as well. So, okay, so moving along. So let's talk about rebuking. Rebuking is to express a sharp disapproval or criticism of someone because of their behavior or actions. Okay? So that's what we do when we rebuke. When we bind, it is to forbid by an indisputable authority. Okay? And when we loose, that is to permit by an indisputable authority. Okay, so when we bind, we forbid by an indisputable authority, and when we loose, we permit by an indisputable authority. And that's something that even I myself had questions about, because when I was reading the scriptures some years ago, first learning about binding and loosing, I was like, okay, what is the difference? What is a bind? What is a loose? You understand what I'm saying? So, and recently I ran across someone who didn't know the difference either. So, once again, I'm glad to be doing this video so that I can, help, my brothers and sisters to understand the difference between binding and loosing. Okay? And then I'm going to just go over a couple more things, and then I'll come back and kind of a little bit elaborate just a little bit more on it. Okay. So, command. Commanding is giving an authoritative order. Okay. So when you command, you're giving an authoritative order. Okay. Fasting. To voluntarily reduce or eliminate your intake of food for a specific time and purpose. Okay. So that's what you do when you fast. Okay. And then prayer is simply your communication with God. Communicating with God. Okay. And I'm just going over these definitions. I know a lot of you probably already know what it means, but believe it or not, there are some brothers and sisters who are, new to the faith, and they don't, know the definitions to some of these words. So that's why I'm going over them. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all could just bear with me, my brothers and my sisters who do know, I would appreciate that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back, and I kind of just want to talk about like the difference between rebuking and binding, rebuking and commanding. Okay. So we talked about the definition of rebuke. Okay. So rebuking is when we just, because it's important. Okay, that's why I'm going over this. So when you rebuke, you're just expressing a sharp disapproval of something. Okay, so when you rebuke Satan, Satan, I rebuke you. Okay, you let him know, I totally disapprove of you and what you got going on right now. But then you want to follow that rebuke with a command. Okay, and I got some scriptures, that y'all can go. I would strongly advise you to go and just go over these scriptures regarding what Jesus said, when he was rebuking and when he was casting out demons. Okay. And so we got Matthew 18, chapter 18, verses 18 through 20. Okay. Luke chapter 4, verse 35. Matthew chapter 8, verses 28 through 32. Okay, let me just make sure. And then Matthew chapter 17, verse 21. Okay, so in Matthew 18, 18 through 20, Jesus rebuked the demon, and when he rebuked and he commanded. Okay. And it's so important that we command, you know what I'm saying? And when we command, when you make a command, you're simply just speaking in authority. Okay. You're using your God-given authority. And, Matthew chapter 8, verses 28 through 32 is a good scripture and a good chapter to go and read about. It was when the man's child had that lunatic spirit, and Jesus told the demons to go. He was like, go, leave this child, leave him. And that's when they was like, can we go into the pigs? And he allowed them to go into the pigs. So it's very important, that we're using all of these weapons. Okay. We're using all of these weapons, in this spiritual battle that we have in spiritual warfare. Okay. But once we rebuke, we need to be commanding. Okay. And we don't just command, or we don't have to just command demons. You know what I'm saying? We could command our day. You know what I mean? We could command our day to be a great day. You know what I mean? So authority is what you need to use. Use your authority, my brothers and my sisters. Okay? Because you have it. As long as you're saved, you have the authority to command these demons. You have the authority to command your day. All right. So I believe that's about it. Like I said, let me make sure I didn't leave anything out here for you all. RBLCFP. RBLCFP. Okay? That's rebuke, bind, loose, command, fast, and pray. These are our weapons of warfare, my brothers and sisters. These are our weapons of warfare. So when you got all these spiritual attacks coming up against you, remember these 6 weapons of warfare. Okay? Because that's how you're going to win the battle. Now, I'm going to do another video for y'all that'll be coming shortly. And we're going to speak about the armor. Okay? Because when you go to battle, not only do you need your weapons, but you also need your armor. Okay? So y'all stay tuned for that video. It's coming up next. And with that being said, I think that's about it for this video. It's a short one, straight, short and to the point. So yeah, just stay tuned for the next video. Like I said, I always do these things out of love. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Winning the Battle of Spiritual Warfare. This is your sister Fire. Until next time.